You are welcome to today's technical drawing class. In today's class, I'm going to make this isometric projection easy, and I'm going to show you step by step to draw it. Okay, I know that it's somehow it's an isometric problem, but I'm going to show you in the picture on the screen. I'm going to show you where they made some mistake in the dimensions. Okay, so I decided to put the dimension here exactly the way it is on the screen, but I'm going to show you where the mistake is, and I'm going to also make this isometric very easy. Okay, all right, so let's start. So first thing you need to do when you have to draw an isometric projection is to draw a line which we call the reference line. So let's draw a reference line. Okay, now from this reference line I'm going to pick a point. Now the point I'm to pick from that point. Now I'm going to pick a point. Okay, so let's take the point to be this point. So from that point I'm going to draw two lines out. Two lines, what I'm going to draw them out. The two lines must be 30 degrees to this horizontal line. I'm going to show you here. Whenever you have to draw an isometric, the isometric usually use a 30-degree angle. So I'm going to use a 30-degree set square here. You know, this set square is 30 degree here, y 60 degree here, y 90 degree here. But we are going to use the 30 degree. So I'm going to draw out two lines, and the two lines must be 30 degree. So this point that we try to pick here, it represents a point somewhere around here. It represents a point somewhere around here. So from that point, I'm going to draw two lines out. That line, it will still be the same thing as this line, and it will still be the same thing as this line. So I'm going to draw them out. So let's do that. I'm going to make it a construction line first. Okay, so let's draw the other side. All right, just as I have said that I'm going to draw two lines out. The point I pick here, it represents a point somewhere around here. So I draw two lines out, one like this, one like this. Both of them are 30 degrees to the horizontal. That is one of the rules of isometric projection. All right, we need to draw this arc first. We need to begin from this arc. I mean this arc, and this one here. We need to begin from here. So to do that, now you will see that we're told that this arc, it has a radius of 40 millimeters. You can see that. Okay, it has a radius of 40 millimeter, and then if this one has a radius of 40 millimeter, therefore the other one behind below is just like one arc on top, while the other one at the down. Both of them have the same what? Both of them have the same radius. You know, you need to think like the way engineers think. Not an engineer, they don't need to give you the dimensions before everything. They can't give you the everything in full dimension, but you need to think that okay, this arc is the same thing as this. So if this have a radius of 40 millimeter, the other one below we also have a radius of what? 40 millimeters. Now, if the radius, we are going to draw an arc, but suppose it's a complete circle, you know, if the radius is 40 millimeters, therefore the diameter will be what? That the diameter will be 80 millimeters. The diameter will be 80 millimeters. So that is, if we are to draw the whole complete circle, it has a diameter of 80 millimeters since the radius is 20. Now we are going to form, whenever we are to draw an isometric what's it called, isometric circle like this. So we need to draw a what we call an isometric square. It's just like rhombus. So it's from that isometric square that we'll be able to form out our isometric circle. Okay, so we need to draw an isometric square that we has a diameter, that we has a length of 80 millimeter, because if the radius is 40 millimeter, the diameter will be what? 80 millimeter. So we need to draw an isometric what? An isometric square that will have a diameter of what? That will have a diameter, or I can also say that we have a length of 80 millimeter. So from there we are going to form this arc out there. We do it as if we want to draw a complete circle, but we're not going to draw a complete. We only draw this arc out. Okay, all right, so let's do that. So now, but before we do that, from here to here, it has a radius. That is, if from here to here is a radius of 40 millimeters. Yeah, from here to here also will also be a radius of 40 millimeter. Is a radius of 40 millimeter, which means 40 here, 40 here, which means a complete length of what? 80 millimeter. That is, the diameter will go in this side by 80 millimeters, and will also go in this side by what? 80 millimeters. Join them together, then we draw the arc. So let's do that. Let's measure 80 millimeters first. Now this is 80 millimeters here. Okay, so let's measure another 80 millimeters here. This is another 80 millimeters. So let's try to join them together. Okay, so this one, if you are to measure it from here to here, will also be 80 millimeter. It will automatically be 80 millimeter. So we have formed, this is what we call the isometric square. So from there we'll be able to form the arc out. So to form the arc, now if from here to here is 80 millimeters, from here to here is 80, from here to here is 80, half of it will be what? Will be 40 millimeters. So let's try to measure out 40 millimeters. Let's measure out 40 millimeters. This is 40 millimeters. Okay, so I can decide to measure 40 millimeters as well here, then join them together, or I can also decide to do it in this form. Place this one here, place my ruler here, then draw a straight line. So from here to here will also be what? Automatically 40 millimeters. If you want to confirm that, you can see that it's automatically 40. So the other one also will be what? 40 millimeters. All right, since we have gotten the half now, the middle, okay? Now you will look at this isometric square here. Look at this isometric square. Now you see, you notice that it has four angles. Look at this square. Leave this middle one first. One, two, three, four. Now, if you look at these four angles, you notice that two angles are wide, two angles are somehow small. Okay. Now, the one that is wide here, is the one we are going to draw two lines out. Suppose I'm going to make it a complete circle now. I would have drawn two lines out like this. Or we have many ways of doing this, many ways we can do this. So quickly, I can decide to, there are many ways we can draw. You can watch my video on how to draw isometric square like this. I gave an example. I did two different ways you can draw that. Okay, so I can decide to come like this, draw a diagonal to connect them together. I can draw a diagonal line to connect them together. Okay, then I can decide, you will see I told you that it has two angles that is wide. So from the one up here, I will draw two lines out that will form what? V. That line will form V. One will come to this middle, the other one will come to this middle. So we need to get the middle of this. Let's get the middle first. So to get the middle, this is the middle. Okay, so let's draw a line to the other side to get the middle of the other side. All right, so this is also the middle here. Okay, now since we have gotten the middle, what we are going to do is that bring out your compass. Before we bring the compass, let's draw out two lines. Yes, as I've said, one here, one here. So let's do that quickly. Two lines that will form V. One to this side, one to the other side. I hope you have seen that. You can see that this line, I just used to get the middle. We don't really need it for now. Like I can just point out the middle, point out the middle, point out the middle. Even this one that I draw a line here, I can just point it out as a middle. So don't let that line confuse you. Okay. So this is what we need. Since the arc is like this, so I will need to draw the arc like this. Okay. So to do that, I'll place my compass here. You can see that. So once I place my compass here, stretch it to, we form out to when you form out V here. So you can stretch it to this point or this point. I hope you can see that. So let's draw the arc. Okay, then I will need to the arc still continue like this to this place. So I will need to place it here. You see, now this is what you are going to take note. You see this line that came like this, that look like V, and the diagonal line, where did they meet? They meet at this point. So put it there at that point. Stress it. You can stretch it to this point, or you can stretch it to this point. Do you see that? Okay. You can decide to extend it. All right. Now we have done with the one below. We need to draw the one on top now. So to do that, we need to go up by 20 millimeters, because the distance from this one below to the one up here is 20 millimeters, the thickness. So now, since we have gotten the middle here, we need to go up with a 20 millimeters. Then from that point, we need to form another, we form an isometric square to be able to draw this. So we need to draw another isometric square to be able to draw this. Okay. So let's try to do that. From this point, let's go upward. From that midpoint, let's go upward. So I will need to measure out what? 20 millimeters, because the thickness is 20 millimeters. So let's measure out 20 millimeters. Now, this is what we need. This is the point we need. So from that point now, from that point is I'm going to form another isometric square just like this. So you see that when I was trying to form this isometric square, one line come like this. So from here, from that point, I will draw a line like this, and another one will cross it like this. Like I will draw a line like this. A line will come like this, and another line will go like this. Okay. So from that point, use your set square. If you know that you'll be confused, you can erase these ones little. They are construction lines. So from that point, I'm going to draw out two lines. Two lines. You see that point? Two lines. One like this. Okay. And the other one like this. All right. So now from that line, I will need to form the 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 box. So to form the box, since it's a diameter of what? A diameter of 80 millimeters, 40 here, 40 here, we make it 80. 40 here, 40 here, we make a diameter of 80, diameter of 80. So let's try to do that. Take note of those points. This point and this point, take note of that. And then let's do the same thing here. This point and this point. So take note of those 4 points. This point, this point, this point, and this point. So from those four points, I'm going to join them together. Please don't join them together by doing like this. Don't join them together. It will form a rectangle. So don't join them together by doing like that. Use your set square to join them together. And this is how you are going to join them together. So from the point one, from this point, draw a line like this. Up, you can see that. Then come to this point, draw another line again. Then from this point, draw a line to join to join this line. And if from this same point, from this point, you also draw another line to join this line together. So it will automatically form like that. I'm going to do something here so you'll not be confused. Now, this is the box. Now let me show you so that you'll not be confused. Let's assume I take this place to be 1. This is the middle, take it to be 2. This is the end here. Take the middle to be 2, to be 3, to be 4. This is the middle. This is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here will be what? 6. Here will be what? 7. And the middle here, it will be what? Sorry, let me confirm something. Oh, sorry, this is 40. You can see that this is 40. So the line will pass through here, not here, not this. I used this earlier. Sorry, it's not this. It is this. So let me try to adjust that. Let me erase that line. So let's put it here. So that point 1 here is wrong. That is not point 1. So if I should trace it with this one, can you still see the line? Can you still see this line? This line. So this is now is point this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this 7. Why this is what the middle is 8. Now you notice that I told you that it usually form. You can erase this one so you not be confused. Okay, you can erase them little. All right, so from this point it has the biggest angle. It has 4 angles actually, but these 2 points, point 1 and point 5, has the largest angle, just like the same way we did there. So we are going to draw v out. We are going to draw it out. So, and I'm going to join the diagonal just like the way I joined these two diagonals. So I'm going to join these two diagonals together and form our V. Form the V, we form it out. The V that is needed. Okay. Then let's form out the V from this point, from this way to the middle. To the middle. Where is the middle? That's why I give it number. You can see that the middle is 8. Okay. So from that same point to the middle here, which is what? The middle here is what? The middle here is this point 2. Okay. All right. Then using our compass, place it here. Connect these 2 and 8 together. I hope you can see that. Okay. Then where this line, this V that came out here, and this diagonal, where did they meet? This is the line that came like this, and this is diagonal. They meet at this point, placed there. So you can stretch it to this point. Then in this case now, I'm going to draw it complete from here to here. So I'm going to draw it complete. Okay. All right. Then okay, so that's about that. So we can just try to join these ones together. You can use this to connect them together. All right. All right. So we are getting close gradually. All right. Now we need to draw this arc that is there. But before we draw this arc, this arc, this I mean, sorry, not arc, this isometric circle here. This isometric circle is having the same midpoint with this bigger one. So both of them share the same midpoint. So from this same midpoint now, I'm going to, this is the midpoint, right? So this from this same midpoint, I'm going to measure 40, the diameter is 40 millimeters. So I will measure what? 20 here, 20 here, 20 here, 20 here. 20 here, 20 here is 80. 20 from here to here and from here to here. Sorry, 20 here, 20 here is 40. 20 here, 20 here is what? Another 40 to give us a diameter of what? A diameter of 40 millimeters. Okay. All right. So from this same midpoint, don't be confused. This is the line we need. Do you see this four line? This line from this same midpoint, I will measure 20 here, 20 here, and this middle line, I'll measure what? 20 here, 20 here. Not forget about the diagonal line. The diagonal line in this case. Let me try to erase this one so you will not be confused. Okay. Forget about this line. I just use this one to like extended the line to the middle. Okay. All right. So from this same line, let's from the middle, let's measure 20 up, 20 down. So let's measure 20 up, 20 down. 20 here, 20 here. I hope you can see that. You can see these 2 points. Okay. So let's measure another 20 here. You can decide to give it A, B, C, D, anyone, so that you will not be confused. Okay. You can see this 20 and this another 20. So from those 4 points, do you remember when I tried to, do you remember the way I joined this one together? That is the same thing I'm going to do here. So let's try to join them together. Those 4 points. You can, if you are done, you can decide to give them, okay, point one, or you can give it A. You can give, this is the 4 points, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So let's join them together. You can see that it's already using that same line that is there already. So can you see it? This line, come to the other one here. Then from this one, from this midpoint, and from this. All right. Now, can you see the four of them? Let me name it another one. Where is the middle? This is the middle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. You see that 1 and 5 have the largest angle, right? You don't even need to draw another diagonal line. You can see that it's that same diagonal line perfectly. It's still the same thing. So you don't need to draw another diagonal line again. We just have to use this. Okay. So let's draw out 2 lines out here from this 5 that will draw 2 lines. And the line will be like what? V. One will come to the middle here. The other one will come to the middle here. So let's do that. But now in this case, we are going to make it a complete circle, not just an arc. Okay. So we are going to make it a complete circle. Now take note of where this line now. This is the line and this is the line. Okay. So bring your compass. Join this middle and this middle. This is the middle. The middle of this line is this. The middle of this line is this. So you join them together. Okay. Then you place it on 5 to join them together. Then come back to 1 again. Join them together. Join the middle of this line, which is this point 4 and 3 together. Since it is a complete circle, that's why we are doing it like that. Suppose it's not a complete circle, we wouldn't have done it like that. Okay. So join them together. Okay, now do you see where this line this line and the diagonal line, where did they meet? They meet at this point. Place it there. Then join them together here. This line and the diagonal line, they meet here. So place it there. So when you join them together, you can decide to erase all these lines so that you will not be confused. You will not be confused. Okay. I'm just trying to give it number so you'll be able to draw it well. Okay. All right. All right. Then you will see that there is an arc here. This small arc, let's draw it quickly. So this small arc now is telling you that it's having the same measurement with this, like it's the same. This arc, if you make it a complete, it will form exactly the same thing as this. It will form exactly like this, but we don't need the complete part. We just need some parts, just like from here. If we make it complete, it form exactly like this. So we don't need the complete part, we just need some part. So what we are going to do is that you will see that if you check it, you see that it went deep. That this one, take this one as the one at the surface, while this one is the one below. Okay, so to do that, you need to go down by 20 millimeters. So this is the midpoint. You know, from here we went up by 20. From here you also come down by 20. This same, we still use the same midpoint here. You remember we went up by 20 when we wanted to draw the first one here. We went up by 20. So to get the midpoint of this one on top, and this one on top, the midpoint of this one on top is still the same thing as the midpoint of this one. So we need to come down by 20 again. This is 20 already. So from this point, I'm going to form a square, isometric square, just as if, like, just like the way I did for this. To draw, I will do as if I want to draw the complete circle, but I will not draw the complete circle. Okay, so from this point, let's draw out this line. Consider line. From that same midpoint, draw out this line. Now from that line, let's measure out 20 radius of 20. That is, the diameter will be 40. So let's place it at the middle here. From here to here is 20. From here to here is what? 20. That is 40 diameter. Here and here. Please take note. Here and here. Okay. So from here, let's measure out 20. The radius of 20 and the diameter of 40. So the radius from here to here is 20. And the radius from here to here is what? So 20, which is another 40. So from those 4 points, this point, this point, this point, and this point, we are going to form a square. We don't even need to form. If you look at it carefully, you see that it has already formed already. Can't you see it? Can't you see it traces? Can't you see that trace? Okay, so to make it more clearer, if I even extend this, I don't need to form. If I draw it like this, it will still align with this line. So let's use this line already. So let's also place it here. If I draw this one too, it will still align with this line. So let's just use the same line. And if I draw this one, it will still align with this same line. So if I draw this, it will still align with the same line. So let's name this one point. This is it. This is it. Take note. This is it. This is it. So let's call this one point 1. This one now, the middle will be point 2. Let's call the end here point 3. Let's call this one point 4. Okay, point 4. And this one 5. Let's call this one 6. And let's call this one 7. And let's call this one what? 8. Okay. Now you see that 5 and 1 has the largest angle. Okay. So I'm going to draw a line. First of all, look at the diagonal line. Do I need to draw another diagonal line? Take this or this diagonal line that is already here. Let's use the same thing. Okay. Let's use the same thing. Okay. Can you see that? So let's draw out 2 lines to form V, just as the normal way we have been doing since. Okay. So let's draw that. All right. But in this case now, in this case, okay, no problem. Let's place it here. Since the arc we want to draw is at the top, not down. So I want to draw it at the top. From here, you can place it on this 4 and 6 here. Connect them together. Okay. So that is what we need here. Let me just erase this part so you not be confused. I hope you are getting it. All right. I hope you can see that. Okay. Erase this one very well. All this number. I just decided to use it so that you will understand what I'm trying to say. Okay. All right. Then we need to know, since we have gotten this point now, so we need to know from here to here so we'll be able to continue with our drawings. All right, but I need to show you something quickly. You see that from the picture on the screen I showed you earlier, from here to here, now take, if you check the way it was being displayed, you see that from here is the beginning here, not middle here. The beginning here to the end here, just like the beginning here, the beginning of this smaller arc. I mean, yeah, this smaller one at the middle. The beginning here to the end here is 130. But along the way, I noticed that it should be a mistake. I guess it's a mistake. And I'm going to show you the reason why I said it's a mistake. Okay, let's proceed. You understand? It's supposed to be from the middle here to this end, from the middle to the end, to be what? 130 millimeters, not from the beginning here. And I'm going to show you the reason why. All right, so let's proceed. Let's proceed. So from here now, from here, now, first of all, let's use the way they dimensioned it. Now, if I'm to go from here to here is 130 millimeters, then you know that from here to here at the top, from here to here is what? 80 millimeters. 80 millimeters. So that is from here to here is also 80 millimeters. So we can say that from here to somewhere around here is what? 80 millimeters. Okay. Now, if I subtract 80 millimeters, if I subtract 80 millimeters from this thing, if I subtract 80 millimeters now, I'll be left with 50, right? Which means that from this place now to the end here is what? Is 50 millimeters. Because the distance from here to here is same distance from here to here. Okay. So if from here to here is 80, which is 80 here, if I subtract 80 from 130, I'll be left with 50, which means from here to here is 50, right? Now you are going to see from here the reason why I said it is wrong. Now, if from here to the end here is 50, and this arc, don't forget, this arc has a what? It has a radius of 20 millimeters and a diameter of 40 millimeters, which means from here to here, you can see it now, from here to here is a diameter of 40 millimeters. From here to here it's a 40 millimeters. And don't forget that if I follow the dimension that was given, that if you subtract 80, you'll be left with 50. That is, from here to here is 50. Now, if from here to here is 40, then from here to here, should it suppose be 10? If I say it is 10, how will it work? Because if you check the picture on the screen, you notice that from here now, we need to come inward by what? By 25. So if from here to here is 10, how could that possible? Or suppose that, I don't know whether you are getting what I'm saying. So if from here to here is 50 now, as an example, and this diameter, this circle has already take, isometric circle has already take a diameter of 40 millimeters from it, because this one must not touch it. It doesn't touch it. If you check the diagram very well, this one's there. It doesn't enter the small circle here. So that means if I take 40 away, I'll be left with 10. So if I'm left with 10, how come will I get this 25 here? That this 25 will not enter. So if I'm to get this 25, therefore this 25 will have to enter here. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that one is wrong. It's from the middle here. It's from the middle to the end. That is 30, 130 millimeters. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say, you understand better. Let's proceed. All right. So from this same, which means from here to the middle now, to the middle, not the end there, to the middle is 50 millimeter. It's 50 millimeter. This one here, I decided to put it like this so that you understand what I'm saying. That is the way they put it in the stream, but it's not like that. I just decided to do it like that, do it like this so you understand what I'm saying. And I'm going to show you another mistake they made here too. So from the middle here to somewhere around here now, since from here to here is 80, 80. So if you subtract 80 from 130, it will be 50. So that 50 that is left is not from here to here, it is from here to the middle. So from here to here, I'm going to measure 50. Then from here to I'm going to measure what 50. Continue with our what? Our drawings. All right, so let's do that. So where is the middle? This is the middle. This is the middle line. This is the middle line. Okay. So from this end point, I'm going to measure what? 50 and 50. We continue with the drawing. Okay. So before I measure that 50, let's try to extend the line. Let's try to extend this line. Okay. So now let's measure out 50 millimeters there. In case your ruler is calibrated in centimeter, 50 millimeter is same thing as 5 centimeter. So let's measure out 50 millimeters. So this 50 millimeters, let me just try to make it more. All right. So from this same point, from this point, which is 50 millimeters, I will draw a line. I'll make it a construction line first. I'll draw it inside or like this. Okay. Or I can decide to connect the two of them together with a construction line. With a construction line. Take note of that. Okay. Okay. So this is a construction line. Take note of that. And then from this image point, two lines went out. Well, I mean, from here, a line like this, and then from here, a line like this. Okay. So this line here I did here, it represents this line. Although it doesn't join here, but I just try to give in construction line. And if I don't want to do it like that, I can also do it in another way. I can decide to erase it. I can decide to erase it first. Okay. Can also decide to erase it and do it in another way. So let me show you the other another way you can do that. So let's draw this line up first. Let's try to do that. All right. The distance from here to here, same thing as from here to here, which is 80 millimeter. Why is it 80? We're given that the distance from here to here is 100. So if from here to here, this thickness is 20. So if I subtract 20 from it, we'll be left with 80. So let's measure out 80 millimeters. Let me try to erase this line so you will not be confused. So that is 18. Okay. So from the end now, from this place, from this point and this point, I'm going to draw a line, a construction line like this, and measure from here to here, from here to here. So let's do that. I can decide to use ruler, do as if I want to join them together, or I can decide to also use this. Okay. So from that line, let's measure out from here to here. From here to here is what? Is 20. Why is it 20? But since we already know that the thickness here, don't forget from here to here, it has a radius of 40. So from here to here is another radius of 40, right? Which is the diameter of what? 80. So it has a thickness of what? Thickness of 80. 80. So from here to here is 40. The remaining one will be 40. So it will be shared between from here to here and from here to here. So from here to here is 20, from here to here is 20. So let's do that. This 20. So let's measure out 20 here. This 20 here. I hope we can see that. This 20 here. So from those 2 points, I will draw a line down like this, line down like this. So let's do that. And when I draw the line down, I will measure what? 48. I will measure 48. 48. If I measure 48, I will then connect them together. So let's do that. So let's measure out 48 millimeters. This 40, this 50, this 48 here. So let's measure out 48 millimeters here. So we can join them together. Okay. Then, then, so from here now, you will see that I will need to measure a certain distance from here to here. So how will I know the distance? I already know that the thickness from the middle now, because this thing is at the middle, this block is at the middle. So from the middle, we have a thickness, a block of a thickness of 10 millimeters. So if the total length from here to here is 80 and you remove 10, it will be what? You'll be left with 70. Okay, we'll be left with what? 70, which means that from here to here, if I divide 70 into 2, that will be 35. From here to here will be 35, and from here to here will also be what? 35. Okay, so let's try to do that. Let's measure 35 here. Let's measure out 35. Okay. So sorry, I said from here to here is 35, from here to here is 35. Yes, it's actually 35, but this one you might not be able to see the end because this block will cover it. Okay. So from this middle of this point now, 35 from here to here, what I will do is that I will draw two lines out. One will go up like this, one will come down like this. So let's do that. From this point, let's draw the two lines, and the other one will come down like this. The one that come down like this is given a measurement of 25 millimeter. Now this is where I'm going. You know, I told you earlier that let me measure the 25 first. This is 25 millimeters. This is 25 millimeters. Now this is 25 millimeter. Suppose that I follow the dimension that was given here earlier. This is where this is what I was saying since. If from here to here is from the beginning of this arc, from the beginning here to the end is 130, and I subtract 80 from it, which is from here to here 80, no, will be left with 50, which means from here to here is 80, from here to here is 80, then the 50 will be from here to here. So if the 50 is from here to here now, okay, so if I then measure 50 from here to somewhere around here, if I measure 50 here now, from this point, if I measure out 50, this is the reason why I said it's not from the end, it is from here. If I measure out 50 here now, this is where 50 will stop. Can we see that? This is where 50 will stop. And if I should measure out 50 from here to here, it will also stop somewhere around there. So if I should join them together like this, I join them together now. If I now draw a line, just like the same way I did here, draw a line, draw a straight line inward, draw it inward, you see that it will enter this circle. So that is why that one is not correct. Okay. So I will just have to join this and this together, join them together. Okay. Let's try to do that. All right. Then from here to here is 10, from here to here is 10. So I will just have to draw a line like this, measure 10 and measure 10 here, connect them together. Okay. So let's do that. Let's measure out 10. This 10. Okay. So let's measure out 10 here. So this 10, let's connect them together. I hope you can see that. Okay, good. Then you can from here to here now is 25. Okay, all right. Then let's proceed from here. From here now, I will draw two lines out. One, two. And also, before I draw that line out, before I draw that line out, let me measure, let me measure from here, the middle now, the base. Let me measure here now. Sorry, while I was drawing, I discovered that I made a mistake for all these lines. So I made a mistake. Let me continue from here. Okay, let's continue from here. There was a mistake. That is why. All right. Sorry. Try to erase it. All right. So I said from here now, from the middle now to somewhere around here is what is 130. Is 130. Okay. It's 130. Now this is the middle. The middle of this bigger arc. This is the middle. From here to here, the bigger arc, why I was trying to draw it earlier, if you remember, the middle is this. So this is the middle here. So I will measure 130 here. So let's try to do that from the middle here. So this is 130. Can we see that? This is 130. So from this same point, which is this point now, from here to here is this. So I'll draw a line upward. A line will go upward. So let's do that. So the distance is 100 from here to here is 100. So I will need to measure out what 100 millimeters from that line. So 100 millimeter, in case you are using centimeter, it's still the same. It will give you 10 centimeter from here to here. This is it. Then you will see that from this point now, I will draw. I will need to join this one, this and this together. But to join them together, I'll just draw a line to join them together first. Then I know that there's a space here, but I'm going to represent it as a construction line. We only tick the part that we need. So I'm going to, from this same point, I'm going to draw a straight line. Listen, from this point, I'm going to draw a line to join with this. So from here, I'm going to draw a line to this point, and I'm going to draw a line to connect them together. So both of them will now meet at this point. I'll draw a line, I'll draw a line. All this line you are seeing was when I was doing it, and there was a mistake. That was why I tried to erase it. Okay, so let's try to do that. First of all, let me try to connect these two together. Okay, let's make it a construction line. I hope you can see that from here to here. Then from here, let me draw another line upward. I hope you can see that. Okay, then take this line to be this. Let's use this. You can, so since I've already drawn a line like this, another one like this, which is this. So let's draw another one like this. Let's just use the same line, and let's just use the same line. So let's draw another one like this. So we only tick the part that we do what that we need. All right, we are now using this one, not the one behind, because of the mistake. Initially what I did was I measured 100. Like when from here to here it's supposed to be 80. It's 80. Now if from here to here is 80, from here to here is 80. Now they made another mistake here, and they said from here to here is 38. They now said from here to here is 20. Mind you, from here to here is also the same thing as from here to here. So if from here to here is 38, from here to here is what? 24. Therefore from here to here will also be 24, because from here to here is same thing as from here to here. So if you add 24, 38, 24 is automatically more than what it is. I'm coming. Yes, yes. If you add them together, 24 plus 38 plus 24, it will give us what? 24 plus 24 will give us 48. 48 plus 38 will give us what? It will give us 80, 86, which is more than 80 already. So I decided to put the dimension like this. That is the way they did it on the screen. I mean, from the real picture itself. So, but the what I down did was that from here to here is 38. If I remove 38 from 80, I'll be left with what? I'll be left with 42. So I divide the 42 will be shared from between this and this. So I divided it into two. That is 21. From here to here is 21. From here to here is 21. So that's what I did. From here to here, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21. So let's measure out 21, 21, 21, 21, and let's join them together quickly. Okay. This 20, this 21. So if I even extend it like this to the other side, it must give us the same thing. You can try that. It will give you the same thing. Can you see that? to also give you the same thing. So let's try to measure out 21 here. 21, 21. So you can try to confirm that. It will also give exactly 21. Okay. So let's make it bold. The part that we need, let's make it bold. Let's trace it out so you will not be confused. So you can see that all these ones, they are what? They are construction lines. All these ones, just to make the work easier. That was the reason why I did it like that. If not, I wouldn't have done it like that. But to make it more faster. Okay. So from this point, I'll draw line down, draw line down, draw line down, 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 down. So let's do that quickly. Let me try to erase that. All right. So from here to here is given to be 20 millimeters. So 20, 20. Let's do that. That's 20. That's 20. So let's join them together. So from here I need to draw a line. Forgot. We're supposed to draw a line down to from here. Okay. So let me measure 20. Then let me join it with this. So from here to 20, 20, 20. This 20. Can you see that? 20. Let's join them together. Nice. 20. Okay. Yeah. Let's measure 20. So from that line, let me use my 30-degree set square, connect it with this. Okay. Then let me join this. There's a line that should have joined them together here. The line join them together here. So let me try to join them together here. Okay. Then here is the same measurement from here to here, which was given to be 48. So let me measure out 48 millimeters. This 48 from here to here is 48. So this 48. Then from this point, two line came out. One like this, one like this. So let's do that using our set square, our 30-degree set square. So let's do that. So before that, let me draw this line to join that point. So so okay. Then let me just try to erase this extra lines there. All right. Then you see that there's a line that went inward like this. So it's not supposed to pass this point. Let me try to erase it. It's not supposed to pass this point. Okay. Then I think we have done with the one at the top here. Yes, we are done with that one. So the last thing to draw is this arc here. So to do that, you notice that the middle of this arc is at the last thing to draw is this arc. So the middle is at here, not here. But now this is what will help us. We need to know the distance. We need to get the middle first. So from this line, we need to get the middle. So to get the middle is this. Is 20. To get the middle, this is how we're going to get the middle. The middle is like the middle from here to here. And from here to here, we know we're told that it is what 80 millimeters. So the middle will be what 40 millimeters. So I will measure from here to a 40 millimeters just to get the middle. That is what we need for now. Then after getting the middle, so from here, let's just get the middle. So this is the middle. Then from the middle, we can then draw the arc. So to draw the arc, we're told that the radius of the arc is 24. The radius is 24. That is, the diameter will be what? The diameter will be, the diameter will be, it will be 48 millimeters, which means from this middle to this place is 24. From here to here is 24. Everything is what? Everything is what? This is the middle now, which represent this middle. So I'll measure out 24 here, 24 here. Everything will give us a diameter of what? 48. So let's measure out 24, 24. From here to here is 24. Okay. And then from here to here, from here to here is 24. So from those 4 points, from this point, we need to we need to draw what we call an isometric square, which I usually call the rhombus, before we can be able to draw the arc. So what we have to do is that from that point, since we have gotten the middle now, so let's draw an isometric square. So sorry, before we draw the isometric square, let's try to draw, since this is the middle, let's draw a line at the middle first. Now I've already measured from here to here to be 24, from here to here to be 24. So likewise, this I will measure 24 here, 24 here. Then we connect those 4 points together. We have only got this point before, so we need to connect them together to form the rhombus. So let's measure out 24. This is 24. Can we see that? And then from this same point to this point, this is 24. Okay. Please don't forget, this line is this, is still this, but we are trying to get this arc first. Okay. So let's connect those 4 points together. Let's connect them together. Those 4 points, let's connect them together. Now from here, so from here, I will draw a line like this. Okay. From the one at the down here, I will draw a line like this. Please don't be confused. Leave this line for now. This one, leave it. So from here, I'll draw a straight line. From here, I'll draw a straight line to connect them together. You can see where they meet at this point and at this point. Take note. And also this. Okay. Now, this is the rhombus we are talking about. Can you see that? Not this one. Not this. This one inside here is not needed. It is the one outside, which is this. Now, this rhombus now, these points, can you see them? It has 4 angles. Two of them are what? Are wide. The two of them that are wide is this. That's the first thing you need to look at. So these two that they are small, you can draw a diagonal line to connect the two lines that are small. You can draw a diagonal line to connect them together. Okay. So let's try to draw a diagonal line to connect them together. Then we need to form out V here. Although there are times you don't need to form it out, just try to connect from here to here and from here to here. So do we need to form V? You can try to form V from here to here, from here to here. So let's try to form it out for the sake of this one. This. So I know you may be having a question in your mind that where will I know the right place to form V? Is it here like this, or from here down? You can form it anywhere. If you form it like this and you still form it like this, it's still the same thing. Okay, so let's join them together now. In this case, this point and this point. I'm just trying to make it bold because that is what we need. All these ones, they are just a construction line. All right. Then you see where this line and this diagonal line meets at this point. So place it there. You can connect it to this, join it to this, then join it here. All right. Then that is it. You can from here to here is a straight line, is a straight line. So we can do that. But now the straight line, it must stop at this line. That is, I would need to make from here to here to be bold, from here to here to be bold, from here to here to be bold, then join it to a straight line. Okay, so let's do that. You can try to erase this part so you will not be confused. I think that we have done with the drawing. Is anyone that is left that we have not yet done? Okay, okay, okay. From here, there's a line like this. A line went in like this. So you can decide to say, okay, you want to erase this inside. So you will not be confused. So from that center, place it here, draw a line inward like this. Okay, so just try to dimension it, but take note of those errors I tried to show, like those errors I showed you earlier. Okay, all right. Why can't you share this video with your friends? Share it with your friends. Okay, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like.